Good afternoon and welcome to Larry King Law's Langley Speedway. Thanks for tuning in Facebook Live and YouTube. You're watching action, or we're in between action here in Hampton, southeastern Virginia. Beautiful mid-September afternoon. I'm Brian White, and along with Adam Welbrock, we'll take you through qualifying as we set the starting lineup for Yesco Race Night. It's round 19 of the 2024 season, and Adam, we are getting ever so close to closing a curtain on another year of action.
That's right, buddy. It's about that time. We are closing in on October, and that is, of course, championship race night here at Langley. Tonight is the final night of action before we get to the championship night. Got a couple of weeks off after this, and then we're going to get into it. Championship night number 1, October 5th, and then the second night, October the 12th. It is crunch time across all 12 divisions.
It is indeed crunch time. Everybody's checking out the championship standing points, because if you can't win the championship, well, you want to finish as high as you possibly can. That equals a bigger check, a bigger trophy at the awards banquet coming up at the end of the season. It's extra bragging rights for your partners that support you each and every weekend. So everybody has a lot of that on their minds, and they want to finish as high as they possibly can. Plus, it takes a lot of momentum, or gives you a lot of momentum, heading into the 2025 racing season. So, again, hard to believe, but we are about to wrap up yet another year. But as Adam mentioned, we are off for the next couple of Saturday evenings, but we will be back all month long in October, the first 2 weeks, championship nights for all of our 12 divisions. Night 1, October 5th, for half of those. Night 2, the other half, on October the 12th. Then October 19th, we'll have the Day of Destruction. That's going to be a carnage fest and a lot of fun. And then we have new this year. We've done it in the past, but little slight different spin this year. The Halloween Speed Fest coming up October 26th. All of our events, minus the Day of Destruction, in the month of October will start 2 hours earlier, 5 p.m. So tune in to Flow Racing, 5 p.m. Eastern Time for the month of October. Again, the Day of Destruction coming up on October the 19th. That'll actually start 1 o'clock on that Saturday afternoon. So lots of fun here in Langley Speedway, or at Langley Speedway, as we get set again for Yesco night at the racetrack. I had a chance to talk briefly with our friends down here at Yesco, including Josh Barnett and Daryl. They are here at the racetrack, right adjacent to the refreshment stands. Check out the Yesco booth, learn more about what they do, and we'll spend the evening talking about that, letting you know all about the great things Yesco does and how they can possibly help you or your business. And they are also doing a food drive in partnership with Thrive Peninsula Food Pantry. Thrive helps families in crisis. If you don't have food with you tonight, no worries. You can take a cash or check donation to the table, and they are, again, set up adjacent to the refreshment stands. If you make a donation of food items or cash or check, you will have a chance to win a 50-inch TV. They will give that out this evening. Again, that is thanks to our good friends at Yesco, Daryl, Josh Barnett, and Terry Harris. And Terry will be up in the tower with us to help call one of the races coming up a little bit later on this evening. Again, we just qualified here, presented by Bojangles. Remember, on your way to the track, stop by Bojangles for some famous chicken biscuits and tea. We've got a Speedway special 8-piece tailgate that feeds 4 for $21.99, and that comes with 8 pieces of chicken, 4 biscuits, 2 picnic vixens, and a half gallon of iced tea. We're 1 mile from the track at 3351 Commander Shepard Boulevard. Bojangles, it's bow time, y'all. Just qualified our Huns Recycle Factory HRKC Pro Wing Champ carts, and that division wrapped up. We had, again, 5 carts take to the Speedway. The fastest here on the property, that was Jordan Valdez, clocking in at 22.925 seconds. Trace Wyatt in cart 8 will join him to his right elbow. Jimmy Carr, Jason Mullins, and Mackenzie Holloway round out the field. They'll be coming up a little bit later on this evening. Race 3 of 8 tonight. 20 laps around the racetrack. Adam, we got a nice day. You're down on pit road. Talk to us about what you've seen here this afternoon.
I tell you what, buddy, it is absolutely perfect weather down here. You mentioned it, in the mid-70s. The sun is out. A little bit of a cloudy sky, but nothing too bad. And the wind is gusting. You can see the flags all the way around the racetrack are fully out. The wind is blowing down here. Again, it's from that direction, so it's flowing from turn 1, coming across the racetrack. We'll see how that affects the handling on all these race cars. We've got Super Streets lined up, getting ready to go. After them, it will be the Super Trucks here for Bojangles Bow Time qualifying. And the sprint cars are back, Brian. Those thunderous wing cars, dirt and asphalt, they're here tonight as well, along with the late models for 100 laps. It's going to be a lot of fun, my friend.
Lots of fun here this afternoon on Yesco Evening at the Races. Again, thank you to everybody tuning tuning in on Facebook Live or YouTube, interact with us on Facebook. Tell us where you're watching from and who you're rooting for here this afternoon, and we want to chat with you. So again, Facebook Live, if you are listening and watching, let us know where you are tuned in from, and we will talk a little bit about you. And we're going to talk about some race car drivers and some fast hot rods coming up here this afternoon. Eric Bucklew. Hey, Eric, good to see you. He welcomes back the 65 truck of Shannon Lester. Hello to John and Andreas tuned in as well. Again, we are on Facebook Live and YouTube here at Larry King Law's Langley Speedway. The Huns Recycle Factory HRKC Pro Wing Champ Carts just took to the Speedway. And Jimmy Carr, again, is the point standings leader coming into tonight's races by 8 points, again, over Jason Mullins. Jordan Valdez, who just took the Bojangles Pole Award, he is currently P3 in the championship chase. Mackenzie Holloway and Ryan Hudgens, the top 5 in the championship chase. And Adam, one thing new as we watch our first Super Streets driver come out of the racetrack is the point standings. We're going to talk about them all evening long, but new this year for all divisions, not just the Wing Champ cards, but you can actually drop your worst finish of the season.
Yeah, a little bit of a twist on the points 2024. Be just the premier divisions, but now for this season, it's all across the board. Every single team can drop their worst finish, and that just gives them a little bit of relief in the point standings. So race fans, you can go to langley-speedway.com, look at the live point standings coming into tonight, but take that with a grain of salt because of that drop. That'll fluctuate things a little bit, but not too much. So we'll do our best to keep you covered all the way through championship season and how that works out, but it's going to keep drivers on their toes. Every driver you talk to, Brian, that is the first thing that they mention, the drop. That is fully on their mind, and that's something that they're already looking at.
On the racetrack right now, 34-year-old Ryan Hutchins in car number 14. Ryan Hutchins clocked at 19.230 seconds. Each car will get 2 laps on the racetrack. We'll take the best of their 2 laps. Ryan from New Kent, Virginia, second in the Rookie of the Year chase behind Jacob Wood. Ryan Hutchins right now P8 overall in the championship chase. Next out of the racetrack, it is car number 71. This is Tommy Sweeney. That black 71 working through turns 1 and 2. Tommy Sweeney on the speedway. Paul Lubna has piloted this car throughout the year as well, as at least started in this car. As we watch Sweeney working through turns 3 and 4, he'll go to the top, 18.809 seconds. He got the fast lap on the opening circuit. Lap 2 was a tick slower, but not by much. He turned an 18.80 on lap 1 and an 18.82 on the second trip around the racetrack. Next out of the speedway, Adam, he doesn't run all season long, but when he does, he is right near the front.
When he does, he usually wins. That, of course, is driver 70, Landon Abbott, 3-time winner this season. And you mentioned the part-time schedule. Well, it doesn't matter. They are fast every time they unload. Goes right to the top, 18.653 on the board. Fastest out of the 3 drivers so far. The multi-time winner this season other than Dale Nichols, points leader.
Landon Abbott, 4 starts in 2024. That has resulted in 3 checkered flags. The Sandston, Virginia competitor sponsored by Woods Body Shop, Woods Mobile Glass, and LA Engineering Racing Engines, your 2017 and 2020 champion. Right now to the top, besting Tommy Sweeney's lap. He turned in an 18.653 seconds, so that is 0.3 of a second faster, or correction, 0.2 of a second faster than Tommy Sweeney. So Landon Abbott all the way to the top on the racetrack right now. He finally got the monkey off his back, broke the winless drought. We're talking about last year's champ, car number 21. This is Sammy Gaeta. The Pocosin, Virginia competitor last year just stomped the field week in and week out. This year, lots of bad luck, has come short week in and week out, but finally, Sammy Gaeta got that victory, and it looked like the Sammy Gaeta of old. And right now, Adam, the Sammy Gaeta of old continues, talking about last season's champ. He'll best Landon Abbott's time. He goes to the top.
And not surprised there. We've seen rack up some poles this season, just hasn't been able to hang on to the 40-lap features. Like you mentioned last week, got it done finally in that number 21, the defending champion, looking for 2 in a row tonight. 6 100ths on Landon Abbott right now. The top 2 are within a 1/10 of a second. There's another winner this season, rookie Jacob Wood.
Jacob Wood on the speedway right now. He is the top rookie here in 2024. Just one race remains after tonight. That'll be on championship night here at the speedway. So this is the penultimate race of the 2024 season. Sideways coming off of turn number 4, keeps it out of the wall. But Jacob Wood, they say loose is fast. Not fast enough that he wanted to be. He is currently P4 of the 5 cars, 19.169 seconds for Jacob Wood, who right now overall is 4th in the points chase. And you just heard Adam talk about he has one victory here in 2024. He got that back on June 22nd. But he has been inside the top 3 on multiple occasions. So that young competitor, very fast in the Capital Landing Chevrolet, the Kel Yarborough throwback paint scheme. It's a sharp-looking race car. On the track right now, this is the 33 entry. We're talking about Chris Spangler. Spangler on the racetrack from right here in Hampton, sponsored by Sinful Treats. He's got the Marty Strickland power plant under the hood of that race car, and he is going fast. He is 41 years of age, or he'll be 41 this year. This driver, Chris Spangler, on the racetrack, he is 5th fastest, 19.185 seconds, and he got that on lap number 2. So right now, everybody is chasing Sammy Gaeta's time of 18.589 seconds. He is right now on the provisional pole presented by Bojangles. On the speedway right now, he is currently P3 in the points chase, and he's not but a few points behind Sammy Gaeta, who's currently 2nd. We're talking about Gordon Weeks. Gordon Weeks looking for that first win of the 2024 season. He does have a runner-up. That's his best of the year back in mid-June. He has a couple of third-place finishes as well, so he wants to get the checkered flag and win here this evening, and we'll see if that driver in the Weeks Construction Chevrolet car can get it done across the stripe. Checkered flag is in the air. Gordon Weeks will be 4th fastest. This driver is from Gloucester. So Gordon Weeks locks in a lap of 18.850 seconds. That'll knock Jacob Wood back to P5. The race overall will be a 40-lap contest. 40 laps around the racetrack for the old school video game Super Streets. It'll be race 6 of 8 here this evening, presented by Yesco. So again, it's Sammy Gaeta atop the leaderboard at the moment, as we still have a few cars left to go, including this driver. He's your current point standings leader, and he has the most wins in 2024. Adam, this is Dale Nichols.
Yeah, Dale had an eventful race 7 days ago. That car was all beaten and banged up, but still drove to a top 5 finish. A little bit of damage limitation, if you will, for the points leader. He's P5 on lap 1, 19.031 seconds. Needs about 4/10 to catch Sammy Gaeta. Can he do it on lap 2? No, slows down just a tick. So Dale right now 5th out of 8. Brian, that's what we saw last week. Dale wasn't quite up at the front with front runners. Had to work his way through the field, got caught up in some trouble. We'll see if tonight is any different.
Dale Nichols finished 5th last weekend. That was his worst result of the year, and he still came home inside the top 5. We mentioned 5 checkered flags, 5 victories, and he does have 2 runner-up finishes. Leads the point standings by 9 markers headed into tonight's event with just 1 race remaining after this evening. So again, it's Dale Nichols, P5 on the racetrack here in Bojangles qualifying. Up next, this is Matt Kaminskas in car number 45. That silver and orange race car working around this 4/10 mile oval as he prepares to go to battle. Adam, let's see what Matt Kaminskas can do.
Right there, P9 out of 9. So the 45 team got some work to do. 19.426 the lap of record. So Matt going to start shotgun on the field as it stands right now. We'll see if anybody is slower than that. Joe Stuck on the racetrack. He had a great run last week, Brian.
Joe Stuck right now 5th in the point standings, and you're right, he did get a runner-up, or make that a podium finish, I should say, of P3. That was his 2nd best finish of the year. That 3rd place finish he received earlier this year back in late June, backed it up in the last contest 7 days ago on September 7th. So Joe Stuck, very fast on the racetrack. He's fast here this afternoon. 4th overall of the 10 cars. Lap 1 is 18.843 seconds. Can he go quicker on lap 2? He will not. He'll slow down just a tick by 2/100ths of a second. So he'll stay locked in. Actually, a correction. He goes faster on lap number 2. So Joe Stuck will move up 1 row provisionally inside of row 2. Joe Stuck, 18.763 seconds. That'll drop kick Tommy Sweeney back to 4th. So Joe Stuck, the young gentleman here from Hampton, last year's Rookie of the Year, having a solid run here in 2024. He puts that car inside the top 3. On the racetrack right now is going to be Blake Wood. This is a Tim Richmond throwback scheme, so part of that Wood team, Adam. We got a Kelly Yarborough, and we have a Tim Richmond on the racetrack right now.
Yeah, Wood Racing doing a great job throwing back to the roots of NASCAR. Blake, good lap for him on lap 1, 19.014 seconds. That's P6 on the board, and picks up a little bit on lap 2, but stays 6. So not had as great a year as Jacob has, but he's going to out-qualify Jacob tonight. P6, Jacob lining up P8. The rookies going to try to put on a show in their throwback paint schemes.
Right now, it's Sammy Gaeta and Landon Abbott provisionally on row 1. Sammy Gaeta, last week's race winner, the defending winner of this race, 18.589 seconds is the quick lap that everybody is chasing, including this car on the racetrack. It's the 95 entry from Norfolk. We're talking about Danny Harrell. Harrell on the racetrack. He had a good run going last week. A little bit of bad luck near the end of the event resulted in a 10th place finish. Currently this year, his best result is a 4th, and he grabbed that back in late August. So Danny Harrell on the racetrack across the stripe. Lap number 2, a little slower than lap 1, but the opening lap is good enough to put him outside of row 3 at the moment. 6th place, 18.981 seconds for the CarMasters Chevrolet. So qualifying rolling on with the old school video game Super Streets. After this division, we'll have the Harris Truck Shop Super Trucks, followed by the Virginia Sprint Series. Good to have them back here in the house for their second of 3 races in 2024. And then we'll cap off qualifying with our Premier Series. That is the Hoosier Driver Late Models. They'll be out here in just a moment. Angelo Stellan is on the speedway, that white 72 car, 13th of the 13 cars. He is from Poquoson, Virginia, as he works his way through turns 3 and 4. Angelo Stellan, lap 1 was 19.701 seconds. What about lap 2? A little quicker. He'll take the 12th spot from Matt Kaminskis, 19.373 seconds on lap number 2 for the 72 race car. Sponsored by Turnkey Technical Solutions, Maritime Mayhem, and Big E Diceman Music. So Angelo Stellan has completed his lap, and coming up on the speedway right now to be the 14th qualifier. This is the Virginia Beach Racer, the Cal's Pizza race car. So if you're hungry, what about some Cal's Pizza? We're talking about Sean Calloway. Also sponsored by Performance Food Service, and he also has a Marty Strickland race engine under the hood of that car. Lap number 1 for Sean Calloway. That nets him a P6 on the racetrack. He'll clock in right now at a lap of 18.940 seconds for car number 12, who set 6th in the championship standings. Best finish this year for that driver is a 4th place on a couple of occasions here in 2024. Lap number 2, a little slower than lap 1. But again, lap number 1 good enough to put him provisionally outside of row number 3. The red light has come on, Adam. That means Sammy Gaeta has gotten the pole here this evening.
Driver 21 getting it done for the second week in a row. Looking for win number 2 in a row. We'll see if they can keep the momentum up. They say, you know, momentum helps in racing, and Sammy's in the catbird seat, buddy. 2 in a row. Can you get 2 wins in a row, man? The momentum's on your side.
Man, I hope so. I mean, Landon's here. He's fast, so I'm hoping we can put together enough to beat him, but we'll just have to see how it plays out. But, I mean, the car's pretty good. Again, last week they made some changes we didn't know about, or I didn't know about, and we left it, so we'll just have to see how it plays out, but I hope we're good enough for him.
Buddy, best of luck for that. Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
Sammy Gaeta, your pole sitter again, Brian. We'll see if the 21 can keep it rolling later on this evening.
Sammy Gaeta going for back-to-back victories. We'll see if he's able to accomplish that when we drop the checker flag here on Yesco Race Night at lap number 40. Again, that's the 6th of 8 races coming up here this evening. So let's run you through the final results for the old school video game Super Streets presented by Yesco. Getting the Bojangles Pole Award, we just heard from him. Last week's winner, Sammy Gaeta, at car number 21, and remember, he was last year's champion as well. Landon Abbott will line up on his right elbow in the first row in car number 70. Landon back for his 5th race of the 2024 season, and again, we documented the first 4 events. He's won 3 of those, so don't be surprised if Landon Abbott gets win number 4 here this evening. Row 2 will be Joe Stuck and Tommy Sweeney when we drop the green flag, and rounding out the top 5 in Bojangles qualifying, that was Gordon Weeks. Sean Calloway posted the 6th fastest lap. Danny Harrell was 7th. Blake Wood 8th. Ninth went to Dale Nichols, and rounding out the top 10 was Jacob Wood. Chris Spangler rolls off in the 11th spot later this evening with Ryan Hutchins, Angelo Stellan, and Matt Kaminskis rounding out the field. Coming up next, we do have the trucks, the tough trucks of NASCAR will be coming out. This is the Harris Truck Shop Super Trucks as they prepare for their 25-lap contest. They'll be out here in a matter of moments. Again, interact with us on Facebook Live. Want to say hello to David Chin, who's tuned in from Portsmouth. He says, go Cody Bryant. Jessica Frederick is right here at the racetrack, and Joe Frederick from the Enduro class number 37. Good to talk with Jessica. Mark Edwards is watching from the local pond down the road before I got to go there. So, Mark, we'll see you here in just a bit. Want to say hi to Lori Ann. She's watching from Norfolk. Just got home to Norfolk from the Philippines. So welcome back, Lori. Looks like Scott Stucker is tuned in with Jody Mack Racing. Says, let's go. Watching from Pete's Towing in Newport News. Lori is rooting for Danny Harrell. Also, Randy Nestor says he's on his way. We look forward to having you here at the track, Randy. And thanks again for everybody tuning in. Ronald Klein, a former champion here at the racetrack, says watching from Sebring Raceway in Florida, and he misses his Langley family. Ronald, we miss you as well. Hope to have you back at the track here real soon when you can visit from the Sunshine State. And we also have Gates Korbaszewski says go Donald Brown. Gates Korbaszewski tuned in as well. And speaking of Gates Korbaszewski, who has competed in the Harris Truck Shop Super Trucks, it's time to put those on the racetrack, Adam. Our first qualifier, he's fast.
Wild Bill, as he's called, Bill Wallace in the 19 machine, a winner this season, his first win since the early 2000s. How about that? The most experienced driver, we'll call him here at Langley, getting it done here in the number 19 machine. We'll see how his run goes. He was fastest in practice, Brian. Look for him to be a contender tonight.
Bill Wallace from Gloucester, 74 years young, 2004 U-Car champion, and he's sponsored by Automax of Gloucester, Shepherd, Synthetics, Amsoil. Bill Wallace, lap 1, 19.243 seconds for the driver on the speedway right now. That's the red pickup truck. Bill Wallace, as you just heard from Adam, broke a 20-year winless drought when he picked up the checkered flag in the end of July. Actually missed the last race, so good to have Bill Wallace back with us. And you just heard how fast he was in practice. Will that result in a pole this afternoon and maybe a race win later this evening? We're going to find out. Your first qualifier, a little slower on lap 2, so lap 1, 19.243 seconds. On the racetrack right now, a former champ here at Hampton. This is pickup truck number 9. We're talking about Rick Paust. Rick Paust on the racetrack. He has also won here this season. Is running a part-time schedule, so good to have Rick Paust with us. In the last race, he finished up in the 4th spot. Prior to that, he had a 3rd, and then again, he won back in early May. So Rick Paust is ready to park that pickup truck in Dale Emmons Victory Lane. Serves our great country in the Navy. So thank you, Rick, for your service to our country, and a big thank you to all of the men and women who serve or have served in our armed forces. Rick Paust, the transponder, is not working, so we'll get his time here in a matter of moments. Again, Rick Paust having a transponder issue, so we'll get his time here when NASCAR does release that. On the racetrack right now from right here in Hampton, this is Donald Brown. Donald Brown on the racetrack, 39 years young. Here he comes through turns 3 and 4 in the 0-5. Lap 1 is done, and Donald Brown, P2, before we get the time on Rick Paust, was a 19.487 seconds. Needs a little more than 0.2 of a second if he wants to catch fast Bill Wallace in the 19 pickup truck. Here comes Donald Brown on the 6 degrees of banking in turns 3 and 4 in the bottom of the racetrack. That's the fast way around this speedway, the least distance that you'll carry. The 0-5 pickup truck, a little quicker on lap number 2, but still not fast enough to catch Bill Wallace. He'll set P2 with a 19.419 seconds. All right, Adam, this guy has been on fire these last few weeks. I talked to his dad, John Bechtel, who is, of course, a great photographer here at the racetrack. His lovely bride will be here watching at the racetrack. Chris Bechtel, he's been quick here this year with 2 victories in the last 2 starts.
I tell you what, buddy, tonight would be 3 in a row, and he is making a charge. 4 points off of the leader, Chase McAdams, in the standings. Of course, without the drop, so we'll have to keep an eye on how things shake out for the 57 tonight. He's rolling off provisionally from P2 after that lap, 19.382 seconds. This lap number 2, any better? No, it is better, but still stays P2, 19.280 seconds, 37 one-thousandths off of the Bill Wallace lap.
How about that? Chris Bechtel provisionally second quick. That'll knock Donald Brown back to third. Bechtel, the last 2 starts have netted him victories. His first 2 in a pickup truck. So it's been a big season, been a big 2 weeks for Chris Bechtel. Prior to that, his best finish was a third back on April the 20th. So Chris Bechtel, he has been one happy young man, rightfully so, for the miles of seamless gutters, black acid, and Jack Dodson's Racing Insider News with Scott Allen sponsored truck. Chris Bechtel, he has been on fire and would not be surprised to see him pick up his 3rd straight victory when we drop the checkered flag later this evening on the 25-lap contest. Next up, this is the 92 entry. We're talking about Stormy Butts. Stormy on the racetrack from Gates, North Carolina. Across the stripe, checkers are in the air for Stormy Butts, 20.462 seconds. Provisionally, he sets outside of row number 2 for Stormy Butts, who's currently 10th in the point standings. Best finish this year, a couple of 8th place finishes to open up the season, so keep an eye on that 92 truck as he hopes to get even faster here this evening. On the racetrack right now, this is the 3 entry from Newport News in the Barefoot Lawns Pete's Custom Auto Service entry. We're talking about Chris McAvoy. McAvoy on the Speedway 7th in the point standings. 1 victory this year. He got it back on June the 8th. He also has a runner-up finish the following race on June 22nd. He's coming off a 6th place finish in the most recent contest. And Chris McAvoy, Adam, right near the front. Can he take Bill Wallace for pole position? Yes, he does. He's the fastest, Adam, in pickup truck 3.
McAvoy to the top, 35 1/1000ths of a second clear of Bill Wallace. And it's another pretty much same gap, 35 1/1000ths back to Chris Bechtel. 3 trucks within a 10th of a second. All are winners this season, and nobody less of an exception to that. Chase McAdams, points leader, multi-time winner, and former champ on the track now. What can the 62 do?
So Chris McAvoy goes to the top, trying to get his 2nd victory of the season when this race comes to conclusion. On the racetrack right now, your current point standings leader. Not by much, but he is atop by 3 points. We're talking about Chase McAdams, a multi-time champion here at Langley Speedway. McAdams, lap 1 of the 62 pickup truck, 5th fastest at a 19.834 seconds. Seeing if he can go faster here on lap number 2. He will, but he'll stay slotted in that P5 position. 19.711 for Chase McAdams, about a half a second off the marks from Chris McAvoy. Now, qualifying is just 1 or 2 laps on the stopwatch. It really doesn't tell the whole story. Will your pickup truck run faster over the long distance? We're going to find out. So maybe McAdams has a truck that's a little bit quicker when the race runs more laps. And of course, this is going to be a 25-lap event. On the racetrack right now, this is the 65 entry, Shannon Lester. Shannon Lester is on the speedway, working through turns number 1 and 2, now down the back straightaway. Lester, lap number 1. Good enough to put Shannon 5th position with a 19.559 seconds. Now Shannon sees that checkered flag waving from our chief starter Shane Snyder, and he'll stay P5, even though lap 2 was quicker, 19.503 seconds. 8 drivers have made a couple of laps here on the speedway. Again, we still do not have the time for Rick Poust, who has transponder issues, so we'll get that here in just a little bit. Next up on the racetrack, only 3 points behind the championship standings leader. This is the 38, and the driver is Paige Kane. Kane coming across the racetrack, lap 1 in the books. Paige Kane, 7th quick of the 9 pickup trucks. Lap 1, 19.811 seconds as she works it off of turn number 2 from Norfolk in the Carolina Custom Carriers race pickup truck. Now in turns 3 and 4, Paige Kane, right now best finish this year, a 3rd back on May the 4th. 1 podium effort coming off a 7th place finish in the most recent event. Paige Kane quicker on lap number 2, moves to 6th position, 19.631 seconds. That'll move Chase McAdams, your current point standings leader. Those 2 trucks fighting for the championship points battle. Right now qualifying 6th and 7th with Paige Kane 1 position better than this championship standings leader Chase McAdams, who sets P7. On the track right now, this is the 0-1 entry. We're talking about Tim Carter. Tim Carter, best finish this year, a runner-up back on June the 8th. And the one nice thing in this series, parity has been very high. Multiple drivers taking a checkered flag. this season. And going to Dale Emmons Victory Lane, Chase McAdams has 2 checkered flags. We just talked about Chris Bechtel also picking up 2. He got those in the last 2 events. Chris McAvoy, your current qualifying leader at the moment, has 1 win, with Bill Wallace also getting a checkered flag. Rick Paust and Alicia Potter all having a win this year. On the track right now is the 0-2 as we watch Tim Carter bring his pickup truck to the pits. He just qualified 6th fastest with a 19.522 seconds for pickup truck number 01. The driver from Hayes, Virginia, sponsored by Pruitt Automotive. Again, we talked about Jesse Call on the Speedway. Lap number 1 about to be in the books for the driver from Newport News, sponsored by Geico, the local office right here in Hampton, with Greg supporting that office. So again, Jesse Call, lap 1 completed, working the 2nd circuit. Will take the best of the 2 laps. Lap 1, 10th fastest, 20.804 seconds. Here comes the checkered flag for Jesse Call. Jesse will knock Stormy back to 10th because Jesse takes over P9, the rookie competitor, clocking in at 20.228 seconds, so laying a fast lap here in Bojangles qualifying. Again, right now it's Chris McAvoy and Bill Wallace on the front row as we get right here near the finish. 1 more driver to go. This will be Wesley Newell in pickup truck number 00. Wesley Newell on the Speedway making only his 2nd start, but Adam, he's made a big start the first race. He came home in the runner-up spot a few weeks back.
I'm going to put him down as a driver to watch. Wesley was very impressive, to your point, that last time out. That's the truck that Hunter Waltrip drove to a couple of championships. Gary Osborne drove it for the first half of the year, and now Wesley is behind the wheel of it. P4 on lap 1, 19.356 seconds. He needs a 10.5 to get the pole. Can he do it? No, slows down just a bit on lap 2, so he'll start outside of row 2 in truck 00.
So Wesley Newell has wrapped it up. 4th fastest, knocking Donald Brown back to 5th, 19.356 seconds for pickup truck 00, only making his 2nd start. But again, we documented his first race. That netted him a runner-up finish. So another driver to keep your eyes on to see if he can find winner's circle when we drop that checkered flag later this evening. A big congratulations to Chris McAvoy in pickup truck number 3 as he's gunning for his 2nd win of the season, coming off a 6th place finish in the most recent contest. He gets it done, wins the Bojangles Pole Award this evening, clocking in at 19.208 seconds. Bill Wallace gunning also for his 2nd win. He qualified outside of row number 1. Chris Bechtel, the 2-time winner in the last 2 starts, he posted the 3rd fastest lap. He'll line up inside of row number 2 with Wesley Newell qualifying 4th and Donald Brown rounding out the top 5. Shannon Lester posted the 6th fastest lap with Tim Carter 7th, 8th to Paige Kane. Chase McAdams, your point standings leader, 9th, and Jesse Call rounding out the top 10. Stormy Butts qualified 11th, and again, we do not have a time for Rick Powell, so right now he is setting 12th. We'll update you as that story continues to develop. So our 2nd division, make that our 3rd division, has wrapped up qualifying. Still 2 more to go, including those thunderous Virginia sprints. They're going to be out here in a matter of moments. And then we're going to have the Who's Your Driver late models coming up here on Yesco night at the racetrack. I want to thank all the fans that are here at the Speedway or on the property. Also, a big hello to everybody tuning in on Facebook Live and YouTube. We talked about some of the folks tuning in. Lena Cherry says, let's go Chris Spangler. Randy Beavers is tuned in from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Hello, Randy, from the Volunteer State, or at least he's in the Volunteer State here this evening. And Lena is rooting for Chris Spangler. Qualifying again, rolling on here this afternoon. Remember, on your way to the track, stop by Bojangles for some famous chicken biscuits and tea. We've got a Speedway special 8-piece tailgate that feeds 4 for $21.99, and that comes with 8 pieces of chicken, 4 biscuits, 2 picnic fixins, and a half-gallon of iced tea. We're 1 mile from the track at 3351 Commander Shepherd Boulevard. Bojangles, it's bow time, y'all.
Put on your smiley smile. Smiley's heating and cooling today. Put on your smiley smile. Your comfort's just a smile away. We'll warm you up when it's cold, cool you down when it's hot. And when you're comfortable, you tend to smile a lot. With Smiley's heating and cooling, your comfort is just a smile away.
Larry King is committed to helping those whose health, safety, liberty, or well-being have been wrongly victimized. You can have confidence in knowing you have a strong, skillful, and dedicated legal team.
Larry King knows accidents and injuries. He knows the law, and he can help. Dial 757-INJURED for Larry King.
We have nearly 40 years of trial experience and have helped tens of thousands of people for all types of serious personal injuries, criminal offenses, and other serious legal matters. Larry King Law has the knowledge, experience, commitment, and resources to be your powerful advocate.
Cycle City Corp, your #1 dealer in motorcycles, ATVs, and personal watercraft. They carry all the major brands: Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Can-Am. Cycle City Corp is located 1 mile off the interstate, exit 258A. Stop by for unbeatable deals. Cycle City also has a huge parts and accessories department. Come by and check out the latest styles in Oakley sunglasses, HJC helmets, and Joe Rocket jackets, just to mention a few. Cycle City has a #1 service department with factory-trained mechanics, so stop on by. Cycle City Corp, 634 J. Clyde Morris Boulevard in Newport News. Or call 595-9721. 595-9721 for super great savings. Cycle City Corp, sponsor of the Legends and Bandos.
It's an absolutely spectacular mid-September afternoon in Hampton, Virginia. Larry King Law's Langley Speedway, the backdrop here for Yesco night at the racetrack, round 19 of the 2024 season. We are getting ever so close to wrapping up yet another season of action here in Hampton, Virginia. And Adam, we're about to see some fun Virginia Sprint Series cars come out on the racetrack.
That's right, buddy. The sprint cars are getting ready for their qualifying runs. Of course, they have 2 heat races to start off the night, so not determining their lineup just yet, but going to be talking more about that a little bit later on. And if race fans, if you've never seen the sprint cars here at Langley, or where that matter, dirt or asphalt, they are the most exhilarating series you will ever see race here. Speeds upwards of 120, 130 miles an hour, 15-second laps around this little tight 0.4 of a mile oval. It is a sight to behold. One car on the track is just fun by itself, but when you throw all 10, 12 of them out there at a time, ooh, buddy, hang on, this place is going to shake.
Indeed, it will. Now, if you have the schedule out, just scratch the Virginia Sprint Series. They will not come out on the speedway here right now. We're going to move to the Who's Your Driver late models. That's because we're going to have heat races for the Virginia Sprint Series. Just talking with Stephanie up here in the tower. So they'll be out later this evening, race 1 and race 2. Heat races here. We'll split the field in half. Heat race 1, 10 laps, and then heat race number 2, also 10 laps. That'll come up just a little after 7 o'clock Eastern time here this evening. And if you're tuned in to Facebook Live or YouTube and you have time to get here to the racetrack, if you're somewhat in the area, hop in the car and join us here at the racetrack. Get your tickets at langley-speedway.com, or you can get them at the box office when you're here on the property. If you cannot physically get here in time to join us for a 7 o'clock start, tune in to Flow Racing Live, flag-to-flag coverage of all 8 races here this evening. It's going to be a big one here tonight as we cap the month of September here at the racetrack, at least for stock car racing and pickup truck racing here for this month. Of course, next weekend, we're going to have the Bayside Bash. The Langley Drift Club will be in action next weekend. We're going to have a circus the following weekend, and yes, I mean a real circus will be here the following weekend, and then we're back each and every weekend in the month of October. The first 2, October 5th and 12th, are championship nights here at the racetrack. Remember, 5 o'clock start time for the month of October, with the exception of October 19th. That's going to be our fall day of destruction. Mayhem and carnage will take place here that afternoon. It'll be a 1 o'clock start that Saturday, the 19th. And then the last race of the year, Saturday, October 26th, 5 o'clock Eastern time, the Halloween Speed Fest with our Yesco Virginia racers. We'll have 100 laps of action. We'll have the sprint cars back that evening as well. We'll have Southern Ground Pounders and Virginia Mini Cups coming up October 26th. The entire schedule is online at langley-speedway.com. So the Virginia Sprint Series, who is here today? We've got John Smith in the J2 race car from Brightwood, Virginia. Caleb Harris, then the Harris Moving driver from Harrisonburg, Virginia. He'll pilot the 6 car. Gerald Harris will be in the J9 from Dayton, Virginia. Matthew Leach in the 11 car. You've heard that name many, many times here at the racetrack from right here in Hampton. He's a champion in, of course, the wing race cars, that is. We also have Chris Humblett, Jimmy Humblett on the racetrack later from Shiloh, North Carolina. Billy Hubbard, we talked to him earlier in the drivers' meeting, the Cobbs Creek, Virginia driver. He's a late model dirt stock car champion. He's also won lots of these races as well, and he is so much fun to watch in that 38 car. Billy Hubbard. Jacob Wood, the 42. Chris Ware will pilot the 43. The 88 VA from Moyock, North Carolina, Darren Bullock, he's here. Bill Mullis, the captain, the owner of Langley Speedway, will have fun in the 45 car. Matt Mullins in the 54, and Aaron Leach, another champion here at the racetrack with the Huns Recycle Factory HRKC Pro Wing Champ carts. He'll pilot the 81 race car. They'll be coming up here again. 2 heat races, 10 laps apiece, and then their feature event will be coming up later tonight. You heard Adam talk about that. It'll be race 7 of the evening, 25 laps of competition coming up for the Virginia Sprint Series, as they're also, like us, getting ready to wrap up their season. They're back in action next weekend at Natural Bridge Speedway, and then they'll be at Hagerstown Speedway in Maryland on October 28th before coming back, or September 28th, that is, and then they're back here on October the 26th. So coming up next, it's going to be the Who's Your Driver late models getting in position, getting ready to come out here on the racetrack. Danny Millard is tuned in from Virginia Beach. Hey, Danny, good to see you. Mike Hicks says, let's go Greg and Danny Edwards. Robin Napier also pulling for Greg and Danny Edwards. Of course, Danny Millard says, good luck to Aaron and Matt Lynch. Shannon Galeb is tuned in, says, let's go Raleigh Music and car number 47. And, of course, Robin Napier also says, good luck to Billy Hubbard. So, again, the Who's Your Driver late models getting in position. And, Adam, big storyline for this series, a driver who's going to put up the helmet at least for a full-time season, trying to get a record-tying 7th championship.
And he's in a great place to do it. Double-digit points lead going into tonight. Of course, we're talking about Greg Edwards, winner from a week ago in the number 21 Chevrolet. Tonight, going for back wins, win number 5 on the season. We'll see if he can get it done. Remember, just 100 laps, no halfway break, no twin night, just straight up 100 green flag laps to the end. Greg had it dialed in perfectly last Saturday night, beat Mark Wirtz by a car length. And tonight looks to do the very same. If you're putting it on the pole, we'll see if car 21 can do it once again. We're still waiting on a couple of cars to get through tech inspection, but once that's done, Brian, we'll have late models on track. Bojangles bow time qualifying will continue.
Talking with Brian, who leads our refreshment stands here at the racetrack. We want to remind you that our Champs Corner is open. It opened up a few weeks ago. Remember, that's the area where you can sit down, have a cold adult beverage inside. It's comfortable outside, but you can sit inside. Flow Racing is up, so you can check out qualifying. And we're actually on Facebook Live and YouTube right now, so go check out Champs Corner, a very fun place to be. And, of course, check out the refreshment stands for something hot to eat or cold to drink. Ice-cold Pepsi products. Pepsi is the official soft drink of Larry King Law's Langley Speedway. And, of course, our signature dish is the redneck French fry, and it's absolutely delicious. Buckaroo describes it better than anybody. It's, what does he say, a dish of heaven, because it's got French fries, cheddar cheese, barbecue. Adam, I'm probably missing something, but it is so, so good. You have to have a fork to eat it.
That's right, buddy. It has everything you could ever want in a bowl and then some. And new for this year, we got a redneck burger to go along with it. So what perfect compliment fries? Let's have a redneck burger to go along with it. We need somebody to go ahead and make the run for us, because, man, you're making me hungry down here.
I know, right? It's time to get something to eat. Of course, they've got chicken, barbecue, so much more down there at a refreshment stands located in the Midway. Check them out while you're down there. Get your official Larry King Law's Langley Speedway souvenirs. They've got T-shirts, hats, they've got pullover hoodies, so much more. Maybe you need some hearing protection. They have that and much, much more. Again, that is adjacent to the refreshment stands. All right, it's time to go to business. Go to work here for the Who's Your Driver Late Models, our premier series, as they are getting set for a 100-lap contest. The penultimate race for this series. So many storylines that we're going to be documenting throughout the evening. We'll take you through it to see who gets it done here in 2024. First up on the racetrack, this is going to be car number 47 from Norfolk. He is the grandson of the legendary Phil Warren, the 7-time champion in this Premier Series. So the grandson is Raleigh Music from Norfolk. Across the stripe, again, the opening lap here for the late models. It's going to be a scuff lap that'll allow the drivers and cars, at least the drivers, to get some heat in those tires. So lap 1 will not count on the books. They'll get the green flag technically on that second lap, and then the white flag on the third trip around. So we'll take those last 2 laps to set their starting lineup. So Rally Music, lap 1 in the book, 16.019 seconds for car number 47 as he's making his way through turns 3 and 4 to get that checkered flag. He's currently 7th in the points chase. His best finish this year, he's got a runner-up back on May the 11th. So Rally Music wants to get that win, and we wouldn't be surprised if he couldn't pull it off here this evening. Car 47 across the stripe, lap 2, quicker than lap 1, 15.981 seconds for car number 47. So Rally Music 7th again in the championship chase. Last weekend, Adam, not the weekend he wanted. He did not get the finish. He wanted 16th.
Yeah, unfortunate night for him, but he's going to try to rebound and get it done tonight. He's had great top 5 speed on multiple occasions, so the young man making a splash in his rookie season, first full-time late model season, that is 15.981. That's a great lap for the young man. We'll see how that adds up. Right now, it's Michael Rogers on track, the 09, 16.171 on lap 1.
Michael Rogers from Midlothian, the 2019 Southside Speedway late model stock car champion and rookie of the year at Shenandoah. On the racetrack right now, lap number 2, slower than the opening lap. Lap 1, 16.171 seconds for the driver who has a couple of top 10s here in 2024 with 2 10th place finishes for car 09. 2 drivers have clocked in here. We just watched Michael Rogers, P2 to Rally Music, who sets atop the leaderboard here at the moment, presented by Bojangles. Next up on the racetrack, this is Ryan Matthews, a 2-time winner in 2024, currently 3rd in the championship chase. So Ryan Matthews picked up the victory, his last, on August the 17th, coming off a 3rd place finish in the most recent contest. Car 51 across the line, and he'll go to the top, knocking Rally Music back to 2nd. Car 51, 15.975 seconds for Ryan Matthews, who's gunning for that 3rd win. He's from Topping, Virginia, the 2019 Langley and Dominion Legends champion, and he was the 2021 Dominion Virginia Racers champion. Having a good run here in 2024. Lap 1, 15.975. Lap 2, 16.031. So lap 1 good enough to make that Ryan Matthews to the top. Next up on the speedway, a winner here from early on. He won the 2nd race of the year. We're talking about a 6-time champion in Danny Edwards. Danny Edwards drives car number 26 on his first of 2 flyer laps. It's not a good season here in 2024 for this veteran competitor, 5th overall in the point standings. And Danny Edwards on the racetrack right now to the 4 qualifiers, 3rd fastest, 16.055 seconds. As he'll take that car back now to turns 3 and 4. We talked about the win early on this season. The last 2 races, 7th place finishes. But prior to that, his last top 5 came in June when he finished 4th, a 3rd before that. So he's trying to get a little closer to the front here in these last couple of races. Lap number 2, quicker than lap 1, 3rd fastest, 16.041 seconds. So from one Edwards to the next, this driver has 4 wins. He's the defending race winner, current point standings leader. And Adam, we know Greg Edwards is not racing full-time next year.
Yeah, his last full-time season in 2024, so we're celebrating the greatness that is Greg Edwards. And what a way to go out other than to win your 7th championship, tying the great Phil Warren. That's exactly what he's trying to do. Right now, Greg Edwards 4th on lap 1, albeit 7/100ths off of the pole lap from Ryan Matthews, so he's got a little bit of work to do on the 2nd lap. All 4 drivers within a 1/10 of a second, so it's very, very tight at the top. Can Greg find these last 7/100ths? Let's see. And of course he can. He's Greg Edwards. 15.974 seconds, Brian. 1/1000th clear of Ryan Matthews.
How about that? 1/1000th of a second faster than Ryan Matthews. We can't blink our eyes that quick. That's how close those 2 cars are on the stopwatch. So Greg Edwards just barely clips Ryan Matthews' time. He clocked in at 15.974 to Ryan Matthews' 15.975. So Greg Edwards on the provisional pole. Can he keep this man down? We're talking about a 5-time champion from Chesapeake, Mark Wirtz on the racetrack. Car 55 has been quick all season long. He is again a 5-time champion, sponsored by CorvetteParts.net, and he'll take the top spot. Car 55, quicker than Greg Edwards, 15.909. 6/100ths of a second faster than the 21 car. Here he comes through turns 3 and 4. He's trying to get his first win of the year. So trying to end a winless drought over a year. And Adam, what a way to get things done here this afternoon.
He was within a car length of the checkered flag last Saturday. He's got 6/100ths now in his pocket in front of Greg Edwards. He said, yeah, that's a great lap. Watch this. 15.909 across the stripe. Mark Wirtz, currently your pole sitter, and we saw him lead some laps last week, Brian, not getting the pole. Keep your eye on the 55 machine. He's looking for his first win of the season.
So Mark Wirtz is on top right now, 15.909. Everybody's chasing him, including this driver, car number 29 from here in Hampton, Casey Wyatt. Wyatt was fast here this afternoon, 4th in a couple of practice sessions here today. And on the stopwatch, we see it right now. Casey Wyatt provisionally outside of row number 1, P2, 15.936. That'll knock Greg Edwards back to 3rd. Hey, we want to send best wishes to his dad, Wayne Wyatt, having some back problems. He's not here at the racetrack. We miss you, Wayne, and we hope for a very speedy recovery as we watch his son on the racetrack so quick. Lap 2 a little slower than lap 1, only by 2/100ths of a second, but that opening lap is good enough to put him outside of row 1 here at the moment. Qualifying rolling on here as everybody's chasing Mark Wirtz, including this driver in car number 08. That is Cody Bryant from Chesapeake, your champion last season in our Virginia Racers, presented by Yesco, supported by Bryant Motorsports, Parts Barn, and Pro Turf. For this young competitor, car number 08, Cody Bryant on the racetrack, and he's had a good season. Right now, 10th in the point standings. His best finish came back in early June when he came home in 4th spot. Lap 1 for Cody Bryant, 16.199 seconds, 8th fastest at the moment as he works that car back to turns 3 and 4 to see the checkered flag waving to wrap up his qualification effort on this penultimate race of the season. He'll move up 1 spot to 7th with a lap of 16.097 seconds for young Cody Bryant, who is on track right now. Qualifying, getting near the latter stages here, presented by Bojangles. On track right now, this is Thomas Marks, car number 88. Is on the speedway, has not run full-time this season, but when he does run, he has some very good finishes. Overall, he has finished 4th as his best finish this year. He got that back on May the 4th, coming off a 10th place finish 1 week ago. Thomas Marks on the racetrack now through turns 3 and 4. Lap 1, well, it's just about done for the Seaford, Virginia driver, sponsored by Commonwealth Towing, Charlie Auto Repair, as he has ramped it up. 39 years of age. Thomas Marks, lap 1, 9th quick, 16.239 seconds. Thomas Marks looking for some more speed. Brings the car off of turn number 4. He'll find it, and he'll pick up 1 position, moving him now outside of row 4 provisionally, 16.140 seconds for the 88 race car, who has wrapped it up. And again, everybody trying to get closer to Mark Wirtz's time, including another young competitor. The driver that sits 9th in the points chase, Adam, that's Cole Bruce.
Yeah, Cole's in his first full-time season in this 31 machine. He was top of the board in the second round of practice. So the 31 showing quite a bit of speed today. Let's see if Cole can get it done. He's looking to make something happen. It's been an okay season for Cole, but still learning this racetrack. You mentioned the championship at Dominion. This place is very, very different to that. So Cole definitely trying to find his footing and showing some decent speed. Has a runner-up finish this season to Connor Hall, of all people, go figure. Lap 1, not the lap he was looking for, 16.266. That's 10th out of 10.
Cole Bruce from Fredericksburg, Virginia, sponsored by Flashpoint Logistics, Bryant's Garage, and Liberty University. Across the stripe, checkers are in the air. Cole Bruce will pick up 1 position. He'll move from 10th now to 9th with a 16.144 second circuit. All right, so again, we've qualified 10 drivers, 3 more remain. A 100-lap race coming up this evening. No twin 50s. We're talking about 100 flat-out laps of excitement here for this Hoosier Driver Late Models. It'll be race number 5 of 8 here this evening, presented by our friends at Yesco. A big thanks of course, to Terry Harris, Josh Barnett, who are with Yesco, and they are here tonight on the property. Terry will be up in the booth with us later this evening, but go by and see our friends at Yesco if you're here or adjacent to the refreshment stands, and learn more about Yesco and help support their partners, our partners, Thrive Peninsula. More on Thrive Peninsula at thrivepeninsula.org. If you do make a food or donation monetarily, you'll have a chance to win a 50-inch television here this evening. Justin March is on the racetrack right now in car number 22. Car number 22 across the stripe, lap number 1, 8th fastest for the Glen Allen, Virginia competitor, sponsored by R.J. Smith Companies. On the racetrack right now, again, 8th fastest, 16.122 seconds. Brings the car back through turns 3 and 4, sees that checkered flag waving, and March goes quicker on lap 2. He'll move up 1 spot to 7th at a 16.095 second lap. So it's Mark Wirtz and Casey Wyatt provisionally on row 1, Greg Edwards and Ryan Matthews on row 2, and right now it's Riley Music and Danny Edwards, the current driver who has 1 victory in the 26 entry, are on row number 3. On track right now, the Wood Brothers throwback scheme in car number 41, the Robs Hauling Ford Mustang, is Woody Howard. Howard, a winner here at Langley Speedway, albeit not this year, so he does want to break through and get a checkered flag for the driver who sets 4th in the point standings. He has had a runner-up finish this year back in early June, so he wants to finish 1 spot higher and park that car in the checkered board area here following the races this evening. Lap 1, 9th fastest for Woody Howard, 16.133 seconds. Can he go a little bit quicker here on lap number 2? A big pickup at him. He now moves inside of row 2.
Man, what a pickup. He was a couple of tenths off in like 9th, and Woody goes to 3rd, 3/100ths off of the Mark Wirtz lap. Wow, that was a great jump for the 41 team. Brian, top 5 cars, top 6 cars, all within a tenth of a second. It is so microscopically tight at the front of this field, man. It is unbelievable, these drivers putting it all on the line for this qualifying. Mark Wirtz still the fastest driver, and just 1 more bullet to dodge. Jody McCormick on track right now.
And these drivers know they need to qualify well. To Adam's point, the parity's so high, these cars are so close in speed that if you can get any advantage, start a spot or 2 higher than your competitors, it'll make things much easier in the actual event itself, because passing is so hard. It happens, but again, these cars, we're talking the top 6 or 7 within a tenth of a second. Extremely close here on the speedway. Lap 1 about to be over with, or lap 2 that is, for car number 10. That is Jody McCormick, who goes faster on lap number 2, and he'll post the 8th fastest lap, and he'll start outside of row 4, 16.060 seconds. And that's going to wrap up qualifying, and Mark Wirtz gets the Bojangles pole.
P1 on the board for the 55 mark, a Hampton Heat pole, and now a pole here on the weekly series side of things. I know it's not as cool, but still a big deal, buddy. How is this race car over 100 laps, though? That's the question.
Well, last week it held in there pretty good. Still had good tire wear showing on the right rear at the end of the night when we got back to the shop. Guys have been really working hard. We've been slowly making gains on it, just trying to improve on the race before, not overthink practice. I tend to kind of overwork on the car and get ourselves messed up a little bit. So, you know, with figuring these Torp chassis out with Darrell Poe horsepower and West Page Racing Shocks, we're really starting to come around. But listen, this is a tough field. It's 100 laps, so I got to try to keep the CorvetteParts.net, Keen Parts, Buckets Bar and Grill, Control Conditions Corporation, J&J Clarendon Demolition, number 55 pointed straight. This is just one step towards where we would like to be, but obviously we still got a race. And like I said, Langley Speedway is, I dare say, packed with the most talent in the pits on any given Saturday night in short track racing.
Buddy, top 6 within a tenth of a second. Best of luck tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Mark Wirtz, your pole sitter tonight, gets a handshake from Casey White. Great lap from Casey as well, Brian. Going to be a ton of fun. 100 laps on the docket. Mark looking for win number 1 on the year.
2 very talented race car drivers in Mark Wirtz and Casey Wyatt at the front of the field here when we drop the green flag for 100 trips around this racetrack. So don't count either of those drivers out. What about Woody Howard, Greg Edwards, the 6-time champ? He's going to start outside of row number 2. 2. Going to be so much fun to watch. I mean, really, we've got 6, 7 drivers that really could win this race here this evening, so it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And again, if you're tuning in on social media, come on out on the racetrack, see it in person. It's going to be a dandy of a race coming up here in a bit. And again, if you cannot be here in person, we'll have live flag-to-flag coverage of the Yesco night at the racetrack, round 19 of the season, coming up 7 o'clock Eastern time. So qualifying is done. Mark Wirtz gets it done. You just heard from him. Casey Wyatt, we saw him as well. He'll line up outside of row number 1. Posting the 3rd fastest lap this evening, that was Woody Howard. 4th went to Greg Edwards, and Ryan Matthews rounds out the top 5. Raleigh Music was 6th. Danny Edwards 7th. 8th went to Jody McCormick in car number 10, with Justin March 9th and Cody Bryant clocking in 10th fastest. Thomas Marks posted the 11th fastest lap. Cole Bruce was 12th, and Michael Rogers starts shotgun on the field here later this evening, again on Yesco night at the racetrack. Want to thank everybody on Facebook Live. Mike Hicks says, hey, the Redneck Fries are awesome. Terry Fuller is pulling for the 47 race car. Also, Mike says, go Mark. So certainly happy to see Mark getting the pole. Scott Lucas is watching from Nashville. Also, again, many other folks tuning in on Facebook Live and YouTube. Remember, use your smartphone to order from Bojangles. You can schedule your pickup times so that your food will be as fast and fresh as possible. Make sure to select curbside pickup option when checking out. And if you download the Grubhub app and search for Bojangles, orders $30 or more gets $5 off. And if you spend $50 or more, you get $12 off. That's going to wrap it up here for our coverage of qualifying presented by Bojangles and our friends at Yesco. We look forward to seeing you here in a little less than an hour and a half now at 7 o'clock here at the track or on Flow Racing. For Adam Welbrock, I'm Brian White. Thanks for tuning in.